Hey guys, welcome to the bird's nest. Um, it's the end of the season, and since we are supporting Shedeur, who is on a losing team, it's kind of nothing to do but sit around and speculate about the draft and free agency. So, let's talk about it. But before I get started, please like, comment, and subscribe for all your NFL recaps, news, and gossip. So, the draft is coming. And, Shedeur had a bad game last week. And so, you know, some fans and some media are questioning his future as QB1 for the Cleveland Browns. And that's weird because he's a rookie who has only started in 4 games with no development as a person who needs to gel with his receivers in an intimate way. Like, not normal. Not like other people do it. He really needs to get to know them and get in their mind. So, this is what you get for that. And, but people don't know Shedeur. They don't know him. It's too much information. Like, you can find out about him if you want to, but it's sort of like you had to be going along for the ride, because it's too much information to take in any short amount of time. I mean, Shedeur, even if you just go back to Jackson State, that's 4 years ago. That's 4 years worth of footage that can give you some insight into who he is and how he operates as quarterback. So they just don't know. And so, you just have to take it with a grain of salt. But all these projections that they're making, I can't make any projections. None. I have no idea. I've been following the Cleveland Browns, since the offseason closely, watching every move. More information. Even that, people who are talking about it, they haven't even done that. Nobody pays attention to the preseason, but I did closely. And I did videos on it. So I know, at least I have more information than them. And so what I learned from that is, I don't know what Cleveland's going to do. Because they do weird things. They do not operate like a normal football team. They do their own thing. Jimmy Haslam does his own thing. But they have limitations. So I can only speak of the various options that could occur. They could draft a quarterback. It depends on how they do for the rest of the season. They got 3 games left. If they can pull out 2 wins, which is not going to be easy, but if they could pull it out, it would take them out of range probably for that quarterback. The only way they would be able to get him would be to trade up for him multiple picks. Ain't nobody, it doesn't cost 1 pick to trade up, okay? People want some capital. So, they could take a quarterback. And then even if they take a quarterback in the draft, wasting potentially multiple picks, they could still keep Shedeur as QB1 until that quarterback develops. I don't know. They could trade Shedeur. He has value regardless of whether they value him or not. I am positive that there are teams that see his potential. They know he's undeveloped. They know that. So there are teams that have seen his potential. Hi Mustafa and Norma, hi Norma. They have seen that. And so I know that he could find a home, and it wouldn't, the Browns would not let him go for no 5th-round pick. I can promise you that. Hi Fissy. I don't know who Greg Biffle is, but rest in peace to him. I hope he lived a good long life. So I could see them drafting a quarterback and still going with Shedeur's QB1, or not drafting a quarterback and going with Shedeur as QB1 and maybe making him compete with Deshaun. Or maybe even Dylan. It depends. It's so many variables with the Browns because we don't know if Kevin Stefanski's going to be there or not. It looks like he should be fired for sure because of these 2 losing seasons in a row. He's been there 6 years, and he had 2 winning seasons, and by that they mean he won just enough to go to the playoffs. That doesn't take a lot. I think the most he's won is 11 games in a season. That's not bad if you were building on that. But instead, he's going down. So, it's so many things. I don't have any guesses. I really don't. I don't know what they're going to do. It's too many things up in the air. The coaching situation. One guess I would make is that I think Andrew Berry is staying. He is staying. I think he's staying because they couldn't draft anybody. They hogtied themselves with that Deshaun Watson deal that was never good under any circumstance. I don't care if Deshaun was the same guy that he was 2 years before they drafted him, because he didn't even play because he was injured. Even if he played that well like he used to play in his early days, it wouldn't have been worth it for what they paid for him. Not only the money, so the money keeps them out of the free agency game. They can't get any marquee players because they can't afford to pay him because they gave Deshaun all that money. So that took them out of that. No marquee players in free agency. You can't afford them. You can only get cheap guys. The draft. For 3 drafts. I don't know who thought this was a good idea. For 3 drafts, they could not draft in the first round. So once I learned that, I was like, how are y'all blaming Andrew Berry and saying he hasn't put together a good team when he didn't have any first round draft picks? So he's getting the castaways for 3 years. So they couldn't build anything. They couldn't build anything. They couldn't get anything in free agency. So that Deshaun deal, giving him that deal guaranteed that he was not going to have no support around him for years. I don't know who thought that was a good idea. But finally, in the last draft, he was able to draft in the first round, although his first round pick was a waste. But honestly, I think that has to do with Shedeur. I think Mason Graham took Shedeur's place because of the collusion. But they took Mason Graham, who is their most underperforming rookie, ahead of Shedeur and Dylan. We love our baby Shedeur. I know I do. I love him, but he hasn't gotten there yet. So Mason's better than him, but they took him at number 5. So, but other than that, Mason is still decent. He's not a bust. I don't know at 5. He might be a bust, but we got to give Mason some time to develop. But they took him at number 5, and to me, that was a mistake. They could have got a wide receiver there. They could have. I don't think you take O-lineman that high, do you? I don't think you take O-lineman that high. But they needed a wide receiver. They going along with this crazy Jerry Jeudy situation. But even with him, they hadn't gotten anybody else. They did circle back after Isaiah got cleared of his SA charges and got him. And he might be him, but he's a rookie too. He has to develop too. He's just getting a quarterback that throws. He hadn't had that all season. So he might be somebody. They paid him like a first round pick. Fully guaranteed contract. They gave that to him to lure him in while they made Quinshawn fight for that. But they gave it to Isaiah Bond. So, and it's possible that he's gonna turn out to be something, especially with Shedeur. I do think it's a chance that Shedeur will be allowed to go into training camp as QB1 if Andrew Berry is still the general manager and Kevin Stefanski is gone. In my opinion, they have to choose between Kevin Stefanski and Shedeur, because Kevin Stefanski does not like Shedeur. He doesn't like him. He doesn't wish him well. And so Acho was saying, I guess it was yesterday, I watched I didn't watch it live, but I guess it occurred yesterday, and he was saying Stefanski needs to stay with Shedeur, and they need to work it out. Huh? Now, I'm an open-minded person, and so you can change my mind, and no. If I don't like you, there's a reason for that. And so, no. I don't think they can work that out. Acho wants them to work it out. I don't know why. Kevin Stefanski been losing for 2 years. I've seen this play call, and it's not impressive. They're losing not only because they have no O-line. Their wide receiver one has topped the league in drop passes 2 seasons in a row, including last season, and they gave him a big contract anyway. So on top of those elements, there's Kevin Stefanski doesn't coach well. I don't know what Tommy Rees can do. His play calling hasn't been impressive to me, but I'm assuming he's calling plays from Kevin Stefanski's book. But I guess they worked on that together, right? I don't know, guys. Hair on my tongue. I don't know. Hi, Sam. Hi, Eli. I already saw that one. Milk, cheese. Hi. Norma, we like you. Thanks, Norma. I appreciate you. I don't know if that's true because you're looking to the side. Rage bait, Brown. Yeah, the Browns stink. I mean, why is that rage bait? That's the truth. The Browns stink. Hi, Hackney Gang. Hi, Sam Bryant. So why you here, bro? Thank you, Norma. I appreciate you. I so appreciate every subscriber, every single one. Hey, Selma, how you doing? I'm good. It's Friday. I'm gonna work. I have work to catch up on. It's out of control. It really is. Okay. Yes. So that's what everybody's talking about right now, trying to guess. There's a lot of fans that want to draft Fernando Mendoza. But he's mid for now. Who knows? Maybe he'll get in the league. Some coach will believe in him, develop him, and maybe he'll become something. But the natural talent like Shedeur, he doesn't have that. He doesn't have that. But I think people like him because he's really tall. He's 6'5", like Josh Allen. They like that. And that, I don't know, that alone ain't going to do the trick. You got to have some talent. And he just emerged in the past season. He was nothing before that. So he starts getting a little better this season, and he wins the Heisman um, as a quarterback that has not performed well. So I guess they thought since they gave it to Travis last year, they needed to give it to a quarterback this year. They didn't care how good he was or if there was a wide receiver that was better than him. I don't know, but so some fans they want to give up on Shedeur. Hey Danielle, how are you? Hey Antithesis, mwah, mwah, mwah. How you doing? Hi Michelle. Do you really think they're going to fire Kevin Stefanski? Michelle, I don't know. With the Browns, they do so many weird things. So I really don't know. I think they was trying to tank. Jimmy Haslam, the coach that said he did it, I believe him. I believe that coach that said Jimmy Haslam incentivized him to tank and then fired him and didn't pay him. So I think Kevin Stefanski been doing the same thing for 2 years with them weird play calls he been calling. Um, and so I just don't know. I don't know what they're capable of. I don't know what they will do. He needs to be fired. Jimmy Haslam said three wins wasn't going to do the trick. So if Shedeur can pull out a win or two, I don't think that's going to be enough. So I think he's going to be fired. Everybody else seems to think it. And I'm talking about mainstream media, and everybody thinks that Kevin Stefanski getting fired. Mary Kay in there fighting for his life. He deserves another chance with a quarterback that can win. What quarterback that can win? In order for y'all to get a quarterback in this draft, you're going to have to give up one, at a minimum, your highest first round pick. And by the time you get to that other first round pick, you're not going to be getting the best wide receivers, because that's what I'm thinking they need to get with their first pick is a wide receiver. They got to replace Jerry Jeudy. He's got to go. But it just all is so much up in the air. The coaching situation, the GM situation, the quarterback situation. Shedeur is him. Somebody knows that. I don't know if anybody in the Browns knows it. So I'm really not worried about Shedeur. I wanted him to stay with the Browns. But now I don't care if he stays with the Browns. I really don't like their media. I don't like how they come after players and they think that's okay. I don't like that. I live in a town with a team. Our media is not like that. I don't want Shedeur in that toxic environment with those people getting in his head. It's funny. I was just watching Bucky, Shedeur's oldest brother, on live, and somebody asked him about his mental health, and he said it was fine. He said, you got to be strong. You can't just fall apart because of situations that's going on in your life. And I was like, that's not something you can control. You can pretend you're controlling it to an extent. I'm tough. I'm a single mom. I done been through it. Okay? I finally made it to where I needed to be financially. But back when I was raising my oldest daughter, the struggle was real. And so I'm tough. But there came a point recently where I fell apart mentally. I'm still in it. I'm still in that state. I'm talking about where I got to talk to my realtor and say, girl, I can't do nothing with these boxes because I can't get out of bed. I had to tell my boss, I need to meet with you as many times as possible every week to get me going. I'm broken right now. I never experienced that in my life. So for him to think that you can control that, you can't. And I worry about Shedeur dealing with that mess. The only thing that makes me feel okay is the fact that he has a humongous support system. He's got his family, which is awesome. well, his dad. I don't know. They're all over the place now. They're not together anymore. But he has his family to talk to. He has his mom that's there with him. He has a multitude of professional athletes who mentor him. So that makes me feel better. They can talk to him, and maybe he can planner or spontaneous, add a Q&A sticker. That can, I hope, is helping keep him sane with the media. Forget about Twitter and fan comments. That doesn't matter. You can avoid that very easily, or just be like, they're a loser. But that media coming down on him like that, that's why I worry about him. And Cleveland letting him. I found out today that Tony Grossi has lost his press privileges in the past for coming for the previous owner. Now that, of course, was because Haslam been there 20 years. This was before that. But he's lost his press credentials twice. But right now, they letting him rip Shedeur to shreds. And Mary Kay and Jason Lloyd ripping him to shreds. Oh yeah, Michelle, I know it for a fact. I know that they are other teams are interested in Shedeur. That deep ball of his is beautiful. It's like a throwback. It's not nowadays. Everybody wants to run all the time. All they do is run. Well, if they could get an O-line, we could get Quinshawn running again. And you mix that with Shedeur's deep passes, the Browns can be something. I really believe they could be like the Bears and turn this thing around next year. But they need a coach. And CP goes to his ball. Goes to Shedeur's games. Coach Prime goes to yes. And Bucky said he's on his way to Cleveland too. Jason Lloyd said, Josina mentioned that two teams were kind of considering Bill Belichick. And she then named three teams that people in their office liked them. And one of the teams were the Browns. Damn, I forgot where I was going with that. Oh. Jason Lloyd said, no way. Bill Belichick is a laughingstock nowadays because of this 20-year-old girlfriend that he has, and he's over 70. And so Jason Lloyd said, no way can they take Bill Belichick. How are you going to have Shedeur and Bill Belichick? You got Bill Belichick's girlfriend doing Instagram on one side of the field and Shedeur and his brother doing it on the other. So I guess that's the problem that Jason Lloyd has with Shedeur, is that he's popular. He's popular, and his fans, well, hey, Jason was coming for Shedeur before I started coming for him, because I comes for Jason. Every chance I get, I ran his butt off Twitter, or I don't know who else was talking about him, but I was saying him by name multiple times a day. He done ran up off of Twitter. But I told him, put in the comments in Ultimate Cleveland Sports, I'm going to keep coming for you until you learn how to act like a human being. How dare he think that it's okay to do that to that young man? Because, what, you don't like his brand? His lucrative brand that no matter what y'all do to him is going to keep him rich? Go to hell. How about that? Can you do that for me, Jason Lloyd? God darn devil. The boy is a devil. And they think it's okay to attack Shedeur because he's popular. No, no. So I'm gonna keep coming for you, buddy. Don't let me catch you on the street, bro. You will be getting cussed out. For sure. Oh, my glasses are scratched. Yep. Deep, too. I can feel it. Damn, these are my favorites. And breathe. I can't stand Jason Lloyd, y'all. I hate him and Kevin Stefanski equally. Hi, Tehran, how you doing? Hey, T Hardy. I'm breathing. I'm good. I'm good. I'm good. I'm good in the hood. Yeah, so that's that. Now, so they predicted on Ultimate Cleveland Sports that Shedeur would have an in-between game against the Bills. Not Titans high and not um, Chicago low. So they're thinking in between somewhere. What we want to see is Shedeur staying in structure and not getting so let's see, impatient that he just keeps throwing that deep ball. You that can't be your only thing that you do. Now Cam done teased him for throwing check downs at Colorado, and he was like, "Well, we didn't have no running game. That was the running game. Okay, if you did that at Colorado, do it again in Cleveland. You have to incorporate that into your game. It doesn't have to be the only part of your game, like Dylan Gabriel, only doing checkdowns, but it has to become a part of his game. He needs to get used to that. Coach Prime then teased him about that too. Checkdowns. When Dylan was doing it, he was like, you better learn how to do checkdowns. So maybe he feels like he can't, but you have to do it. You got to do checkdowns. Until well, you know what? I be looking at the film reviews, the film reviews with G. Bush, and a lot of times the check down isn't available. Their offensive line is so bad that there just don't even be that many options available. You can't do a check down, ain't nobody open. Quinshawn can't run, he can't get anywhere because the line just breaks down. But right now they have a lot of backups in there because everybody's injured. Oh my God. You know, I like going live, but trolls are so annoying. The question is, what crazy action will Stefanski pull this time? I hope Shedeur doesn't get injured. He better, Afro Being, he better not. Look, there are limits to what Coach Prime will take, I'm sure. There are limits. He better not get hurt. It's really sad that you can't block people. So, yeah, but Shedeur's a tough guy. You know, he gets tackled over and over and over and over and over again, and he keeps getting up. I worry about him. I'm a mom. I worry. I'm a woman. That's what we do. I think about long term what it's going to be like for him. He's already got the back situation, which started at Colorado, and he still has it. So that could be a lifelong thing for him. All this getting tackled is not good for him. I don't recall him ever having a concussion in Colorado. I don't know how it was at Jackson State. I don't recall him having a concussion, and I pray it stays that way. He is a quarterback. So they don't get, well, they get tackled hard sometimes. They get sacked. So we'll see how it goes. But I don't know what Shedeur's going to do this week. But I do want to see the sacks get back to normal. Like they're acting like that game he had last week defines his career thus far with his 4 games. But prior to that, he only had 2 sacks. That was over the course of 3 games. Because he only has 5 sacks for the season, and 3 of them came last week. So he was doing well there, but something I don't know what. Well, being behind that bad line was difficult. It was really difficult last week. But he had a bad line in Colorado, so he's going to have to, try to figure it out so that at least he has the best game that he can have. They're not gonna win. They're not winning. Njoku is still out. Sampson is out. Um, Denzel Ward is out. Teller might be rotating in and out, and that'll help on the O line. Oh my God! So we'll see how it goes. Colorado is hemorrhaging players to the transfer portal. And the crazy thing about that, I don't know if people know, I read this little fact. The vast majority of those guys that go in the transfer portal, no team picks them up. So Colorado got true freshmen heading into the transfer portal. Good luck to them. I think Omarion and Tawfiq will get picked up. But I don't know about all those other guys that left. And if they left, Coach Prime didn't need them anyway. Another thing that I heard is that Coach Prime gets more people from the transfer portal than he does from high school. I don't know why that is. I don't know if they can't. I don't know what's going on with that. But they do have a new coach. I believe he's a coach, but he'll be doing scouting. He's bringing players with him that are good. So we'll see how that goes, and we'll see how he does with recruiting. People want Coach Prime to be able to go to kids' houses and recruit them, and he can't do that, unfortunately, because it's celebrity. But if Coach Prime, I'm starting to want him to leave Colorado. But I don't know how desirable of a candidate he is after that losing record. Afro being, I don't know. I haven't heard anything about it. Coach Prime hasn't said anything about it. I don't know. Anything could happen. That's another thing on the table with the Browns. I could see Jimmy Haslam being the type to bring in Coach Prime to coach. But I have no idea. I don't know if Coach Prime wants to do that, and I don't know if Shedeur would want that. Even if it meant him getting the development that he needs. He might want it. I don't know. I can't read these people's minds. So I don't know if Coach Prime is leaving. But I feel more and more like it might be on the table. But on the plus side, Juju is staying. And to me, that's what's making me think Coach Prime needs to stay. Because Juju is hanging in there with you despite the fact that you recruited him as a 5-star recruit and then bought in some guy from some little teeny tiny college and started him over Juju. I think that's why he's losing a lot of people too. Had they put Juju in, let him grow over the season and become what he's going to become, they would have had more success. And I believe Omarion would have stayed at least. So, okay. I think Omarion would have stayed at least, but He just really made a bad decision. I gotta leave my glasses on because I got a troll in here, and I don't. I'm tired of him. Um, I don't know I don't know what's going to happen with anything. I don't know what's going to happen with the Browns, and I don't know what's going to happen with Colorado. But we'll learn soon enough, because the Browns will maybe be making moves in the off season, particularly on the O line, because they have to deal with that. And I don't know if the draft is going to be enough to do it all, especially if they're thinking about taking a quarterback. But they still got the cap problem, so they can't. Well, O linemen, they probably make a little less money, so it might be easier. I don't know. I have no idea what's gonna happen. So um we'll see how it goes. It's something to look forward to in the off season. What's gonna happen with all of it? And now, like I only watch Colorado. That's the only college team I watch. But now that Omarion left, because of Omarion is my baby. I love him. So now I got to follow him to some other team because I got to keep up with him. I know he's coming to the league. Let me move. But that's it, guys. I didn't have a lot. I just wanted to chat about what's coming. The Cleveland coach story does say the quiet part loud. That Stefanski is out of here. Yeah, Afro being, I think so. But the way these people are campaigning for him, I'm not talking about the fans. They don't, our opinion counts for absolutely nothing. But the way the media is campaigning for him, and what does he want? He's been resisting Shedeur, who is clearly Barry and Stefanski's guy. At least he was this season. And he keeps resisting. So what does he want? Do you want to stay and Shedeur go? Or are you willing to work with Shedeur and be okay with the fact that he's popular? Since you gave Jason Lloyd that story saying you want to bench him for the year, that's your homeboy. If that's the reason why he hates him, maybe that's the reason why Stefanski hates him. Because he's popular. And he has power that he doesn't use. He doesn't abuse. It's just there. He has fans. He doesn't tell us to fight for him. We just do. And yes, and well, Shedeur barely posts on social media, but of course everybody around him posts. Well Off Media, Coach Prime does great content. Stud Still, his friend from Jackson State, he doesn't post much either, but when he does, it's premium quality. There's a lot of content out there, and it's he has to nurture his brand. His brand is way more valuable than his NFL contract. So whoever needs to get over that needs to get over it. Or not. Let him go. Trade him. I wish he could go to the Steelers. That's where I want Shedeur. I want Shedeur with Mike Tomlin. That's what I want. I want them to give up a first-round pick for Shedeur. That's what I want. Because Cleveland and this toxic media and having him be torn down all the time, that's not healthy. That's not healthy, and I think that's why they're going to always lose. Even if they get Mendoza and he comes out there and he doesn't look like Jaden Daniels in the first 3 games, they're going to turn on him, just like they did Shedeur. Just like they did Dylan Gabriel. Just like they did Joe Flacco. They don't even give you a chance to get up and run. And of course, I was rooting against Flacco and Dylan because I wanted Shedeur on the field. But the fact of the matter is, they don't give you a chance. You need to win immediately, or the media will turn on you. That's why I don't even know if Dylan had a ding-dang concussion. He might have just wanted to get out of there so they can get off of his back. So, I don't know. Anyway, I'm going to head on out. I got some meeting minutes to do. But you guys, thanks for watching. And if you haven't already, please hook your girl up with a like. And y'all have a good night. I will be checking in Sunday. I came on live last Sunday during halftime. Nobody was there, but I might try it again this time. Go live at halftime and then go live after the game. But you guys have a good night, and until then, I'll see you later. All right. And like, comment, and subscribe. Thanks, guys. Mwah.